Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Neil Robertson Pro Career on Snooker 19. Today it is time for part 25 of Season 4 and in today's episode we have the first part of the last 16 of the Evergrande China Championship against Ballrun Bingham, Stuart Bingham, a player that we've done very well against in the past. We played against him 5 times, as you can see on the matchup history. We have beat him 5 times. In one of those tournaments, we went on to get to the final. That was Season 1 Staffordbet Masters. We unfortunately lost in that one to, was it Mark Allen? I think it was. It was Mark Allen, wasn't it? And we got, obviously, to the quarter-final of all of these events, as we beat him in the last 16 of the first 4, and then beat him in the quarter-final of the Staffordbet Masters last year, which was actually our last match on the Pro Aiming Aid, interestingly. But anyway, let's get into it today, straight into it. I am really enjoying my snooker at the moment. Really am, and I hope you guys are as well. There's been a lot of snooker on over Christmas, of course. Well, not necessarily over Christmas, but before the Christmas period, we've had the UK Championship, the Scottish Open, and the, I was going to say the Coral World Grand Prix, but it's actually now the Matchroom.com Grand Prix in as many weeks. And it's been great to watch, really has. But unfortunately, obviously, the players have a break over Christmas. Luckily, I don't. So if you want your snooker fix over Christmas, then this is where you come. I'm going to get my excuses in early, though, today if we don't do very well in this first part. We're going to play the first 4 frames in today's episode, and then play the rest in Friday's episode, which will, of course, be a Christmas special. I think I did say in Monday's episode that actually, we didn't have an episode on Monday, did we? Apologies for that. But I don't know if I've said or not, but we will. I thought we might not be having a Christmas Day episode. I'll be having a break, but I think I will this year because of how this year's gone, and because some of you might need your Christmas Day fix. I'm more than happy to provide that for you on the channel. But what I was talking about excuses will come just after this shot. Now, we've got a half chance on this red. We've got to play it to the right power so we can get through the gap. Here. And it's bang on the right power. It's in. Oh, well, how did that hit the black? How did that hit the black? Well, it's a very interesting one. I think it's just got to be a safety. It'd be stupid to go for anything else. I was looking potentially at the pot, but that's just suicide. Anyway, we'll finally get to it. My excuse today, I've got it blocked here. My ear's quite blocked. Don't know why. Don't know how. I do wear earplugs in the shower or the bath when I wash my hair. So I do have a bit of a problem with my ears getting blocked. I think with water, to be honest.
Down goes the black.
Well, he's potted the black. Neither of us particularly doing all that well at the start of today's match, to be honest. But he's left a half chance here on the red. And because my ears are blocked, obviously, well, it's just the one ear, luckily, so I can half hear the commentary, I half can't. The other excuse is that I'm actually recording this at 7:30 in the morning, unbelievably. Because I'm just operating on a different time zone at the moment. I get up early for work, say early, about 6 o'clock, quarter to 6, and so at 5:10 this morning, went out for a walk. I thought, well, get today's video done nice and early.
8.
As I said, I do apologise that we didn't have a video on Monday. Things just caught up with me, really. We got to Sunday night and a Sunday foot. Oh dear, I haven't done the snooker video, but I didn't want to rush it again. There's no point rushing things. I should leave it till today. We've had a decent start here.
16.
Very much let in, I would say, by Bingham's terrible shot letting the black in. I don't quite know how that happened, but I think both of us had bad contacts with the black, to be honest, at the start of this match. Again, I still can't quite figure out how on earth we hit the black. Because from the aiming aid, we were nowhere near it. We were going to circumnavigate the black, i.e. in layman's terms, miss the black. Go around it, navigate around it. Right, just need to get bulk side of this blue, but not too much.
In it goes.
That's about right, yeah. So obviously if my volume control, i.e. I'm shouting or maybe not talking as loud as I usually am, that's just because if anybody's ever had it, when your ears are blocked, you just lose that full sense of sound that maybe you're used to.
For a better split there.
I can hear what Neil Fold says, though, and I think he's right. Definitely would have hoped for a better split there. And we've also put the pink further down the table, which I don't know whether I'm happy about or not, to be honest. Just a thin cut on the red. That won't hurt hitting the green there. That's a good shot.
Brilliantly played.
Neil Robertson.
So not getting this done in one visit, but at least we've been to the table. We've got a few balls potted. We've got our cue action going. But Stuart Bingham, I'm hoping this isn't a repeat of the match against Mark King, as nice as it would be for us to get a fairly easy victory. I mean, for goodness sake, we haven't even finished the first frame yet, so I don't quite think we can talk about the winning line. But if it's anything like that match against Mark King in Friday's episode where we obliterated him, you know, he didn't have a chance. Well, he did actually. He did have a few chances. It's not like we played superbly, but he just wasn't at the race at all. Whenever we gave him a chance, he just wasn't there to take it.
Well, I'm not surprised he's taking on the long pot here.
So I'm hoping we don't get the same of Bingham.
That's one of his trademark.
We have got a good record against him, but being a top 16 player, you'd think he'd put up a bit of a fight. But as I said, it's very early days, so very early to be talking about anything that resembles a winning line at this point.
Quality cueing there, really good.
7.
This red does go, so that's okay. I'll tell you what, we've come close to missing that pocket a few times recently. Don't quite know why. Okay. Red will go. It's just all about angles here, isn't it? Have we got into the gap to get to it?
21.
Have we got into the gap? And the answer is, I think, just about.
Just wants this pot to drop into the pocket.
There we go. Good shot.
22.
Might struggle to get on the next one, though, here. Suppose we might need a bit of help from Mr. Blue Sky, or Mr. Blue Ball, I suppose, as it is.
Needs to strike this well.
Good shot.
Pot that is.
Too much power on it, really, but again, it's still a recoverable one.
27.
I think we'll use now as a time to open up the red, see what we can do.
Plenty of power. That split is not bad at all.
It's a good split.
Great opportunity.
Going to have to go up to the bulk here for a pot. We're looking at the yellow, really, is the only viable shot. We're nearly there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Is there 6 or 5? I think there's only 5 reds left, so yellow and another red, and we'll win the frame.
Just this yellow needed now.
Down it goes.
But apparently it's just the yellow.
That should be it. No real
Is
weight
it
for the
60? I
opponent
suppose
to
he's
win the frame now.
68
30.
behind, isn't he, with 68 left on the table. Is it 68? No, it's 67. Of course it is, you pillock. Okay, so we only needed the yellow, but
He's playing for the right corner here.
we've got no chance of getting a century, so what we've done in previous frames is he's not really bothered,
Great
just
shot.
give up in effect and let the next frame play. But I think because it is the first frame of the day, it's not going to harm us just to get our queuing arm in focus.
This really is tricky.
Tremendous pot. Brilliant.
35.
It's not helping us, particularly that the blue's off its spot here. But again, it's all good practice. Pressure's off, so it's just really a practice session now. I always say it. I know it's a trivial thing to say, but it's right. It's always good to take that first frame.
$43.
Black's gone off its spot now, so that might help us out in terms of getting to the balls a bit easier.
Nicely onto the pink.
44. 50.
I've said this time and time again as well, though. I think we are playing well, but we just need to convert it in the later stages. I'm still kicking myself a bit, really, about that
Position on the pink here.
game against Ding in the last tournament.
51.
How we didn't manage to win that, I'll never know. I think we were 4-1 up. No, we can't have been 4-1 up. I think we were... Was the magic line 3 or 4? Can't remember whether it was best of 7 or best of 9 in that one.
Tough shot coming up.
But either way, we were 1 frame away from victory, and unfortunately we lost. Good fight back from the Dragon. I think that's got a bit too much power on it. Or maybe not enough as the story goes.
65.
Neither here nor there, particularly to get on the yellow. Tried the double. I don't think we'll do it, but no, not quite. But we've actually got the snooker, funnily enough, which is something we definitely weren't trying to get. But Stuart Bingham will concede the frame there.
Well played.
103 behind, 27 remaining. All you go on your calculators and figure out how many snookers that would be.
Frame, Neil Robertson.
Well played to take that frame.
But a good first frame.
Well, he's taken the lead here.
Really categorised by that strange shot that Bingham played.
Second frame, Neil Robertson to break.
Black winning off. He gave us a few reds to go at, and from there, we didn't really look back. He's opened things up again a bit here. And again, it's just another chance. Or is it? No, it's not actually. Blue just about keeps him in this. Lucky devil. I think I didn't quite anticipate how thick that contact would be.
That was a really tough shot. And it hasn't worked out all that well.
Just trying to get it a bit thicker to slow the cue ball down a little bit, but certainly wasn't anticipating it being that thick or
He's going for the
the
left
cue
corner.
power we'd need.
He'll want
Well.
to try and eliminate errors like that in this match.
If that's the sort of player we're going to be up against today, it's not going to be a particularly long match. Because we're in the mood to make good frames,
This is a
make
half
good
chance.
breaks. And if Bingham gives us a chance,
Great
we'll
opening.
take it.
1.
Admittedly, in real life, that's not the easiest shot. It's missable, but on Snooker 19, it's a shot that shouldn't really be missing.
Seven.
Flirting with danger there at the middle pocket, but as I say, it's all okay.
Twelve.
He's aiming for the left corner here. Excellent pot.
That wasn't the best shot. I don't quite know what we were going for there.
13.
It certainly wasn't straight on the pink, that's for sure. Might be a safety shot here, actually. Can't quite cut that thin enough to get behind the green, can we? Haven't really got much to lose by playing this safety. Not going to leave anything on anyway.
Neil Robertson, 30.
Would have liked to have made more than that, but to be honest, I don't quite know what we were aiming for with that shot with the pink. But, as of before, he's not really put up much of a fight as Stuart Bingham.
Beautiful pot.
That very nearly went in off there, you know.
1.
Position's not great though, I'll admit. That's the problem, as I've always said when you play topspin. Never quite sure of position. If we can pop the blue, which is the tricky one here.
So this pot.
The next one will be a doddle, but I'm not too sure about this blue. So my instincts keep telling me I'm wrong with my angle. That looks about right to me, though.
Down it goes.
Sometimes you're just best going with what you'd originally planned. I understand sometimes it maybe doesn't work, but sometimes you go for what you've originally planned. It sometimes tends to work. Try and split these reds up.
He seems full of confidence.
Navigated round on, which is a bit lucky, but again, we're giving ourselves quite a few shots to go at. If we can get the positioning right, which is a bit of a problem at the moment. We seem to be chasing the cue ball around just a bit.
Thirteen.
Plays one with a fair bit of backspin. Come back to the blue. I think that's the best way for us to get position.
Nicely onto the colour.
14.
So precise position has to be, especially in this sort of circumstance where there's actually quite a few reds to go for, because you can trip up very easily. Leave yourself out of position. Misjudged that one as well. I thought that the black was on there for some reason. That certainly wasn't.
Into the right middle pocket. That's a top shot. Well played.
Brimming with confidence and on a bit of a roll at the moment.
26.
Well, Bingham's hardly had a shot so far, but
27.
whatever he has played hasn't filled anybody with much confidence, it has to be said.
Well, that's left him a little awkward there.
It is a bit awkward, this, I agree.
33.
This should be straightforward enough.
Needs to play with top there, and I think we've got it just about right to be on the blue. We're a little bit straight, actually, if anything, so that does make things awfully awkward. Let's just get these 5 points, you know, actually. No, let's just play safe. I think sometimes we can all be a bit guilty of getting greedy.
He's looking for the snooker behind the brown, I think.
Got our position wrong. There's no point trying to chase the cue ball. We might as well just play safe and make sure he hasn't got a shot to go out next. And we have got the snooker.
And he's played it well.
Neil Robertson, 34.
He's got out of it, but as you can see, he's given us what I would consider now to be a frame-winning chance, as long as we don't keep
He's looking for the pot into
mucking
the
up
right
the
middle.
position. I think one issue is that we're having to play for the pink a lot because the black's in a bit of an awkward position, and that's not something we do a lot. So a bit like all shots on the snooker table, if you play it a lot, well, it's like anything in life, I guess. If you do it a lot, then you're well versed in it. But if it's something you don't do very often, you might struggle.
8.
This is the key shot. If this goes in, you fancy him for the frame.
Well, as quick as we got the first on the board, it looks like we've got 2.
And that effectively shuts out his opponent in
To
this
be honest,
frame.
with each shot we play, this match is looking ever so similar to the one we played last time out against Mark King.
15.
As I said before, we're nowhere near the winning line, but
He's looking at the pot into the left middle.
2-0 up's a good place to start. I don't think we're on a red next time, so we'll just give it a good whack.
He'll be
I don't think
fuming
he'll come
about
back to the table at this point.
21.
And I think that should be 2-0 to Robertson.
Neil Robertson, 21.
There you go.
Conceded.
Stuart Bingham
Frame,
concedes.
Neil Robertson.
Another solid
And
frame.
that is the frame.
And we double our lead.
Thank you.
And as I
Third
always
frame.
say in these videos
Stuart
when
Bingham,
there's 2 frames between players, this is such a big swing frame now. It's a better shot that was though. Bit more promising. My commentary might seem to suggest that I don't want to have a game particularly here, that I'd be quite happy to win 5-0. And one part of me would, but the kind of competitive side and the sporting side say, no, I'd like Bingham to put up a good fight here. And this might be where that fight starts. Oh, this could be good. This looks like a good line. How about that for a shot?
He's got it. Excellent shot.
Didn't really intend to get the snooker there. It's just the pace we played it at was pretty much perfect.
That's a shocking shot.
And he's left
I really
a
don't understand
left a
why
half
he's there.
chance here. I don't quite agree with Neil Fold. I think he's been a bit harsh there. This isn't easy. Hence why we played a bit of an element of safety in there, but it was a good shot. To be honest, if we had played that and missed, we would have been stuffed anyway, because we did play with safety, but we did catch one of the reds, so that threw the trajectory of the shot all over the shop. But for the third time in as many frames, we're in first.
6.
Albeit, I know Bingham was in first in the last frame in
He's
terms of
able to
having a
sink this
chance,
into the
but
right corner.
he scuppered the red. And really, with that scuppered any chance of him having a chance in the frame.
Wonderful shot.
7.
I do remind you, folks, that we didn't play
He's looking to pop
in
this
this
into the
tournament
left
2
corner
years
pocket.
ago. For some reason in Season
No
2 we
problem
didn't
there.
play as many events,
He's playing very well here.
which means because snooker works on a 2-year ranking system, that whatever we win as in this event, whether it's 10,000 or 100,000, all of that cash, all of that prize money, goes onto our rankings. Prize money.
This is no gimmick.
Tough shot, this.
No,
Quite a way
not
off.
this time. Close, but a miss nonetheless.
I think we've got away with it, though. We have. Oh, Jesus
the risk.
Christ. Well, Bingham's gone in off there.
He's elected to play on here.
It's just speechless. Any shot he plays is just dreadful.
Not an easy one, but a half chance.
That wasn't bad, though, was it?
That's a top shot.
You do wonder how... I mean, again, it's not
Position looks pretty good to me.
a insult to his real-life game, but you do wonder how some of these players in Snooker 19 stay in the top 16. You could say the same of us, some of the snooker we've played.
Neil Robertson, 1.
Well, just going to keep this nice and simple. Just an up and down the table shot here. We can't get to anything, which means if he's in the same position, he won't be able to get to anything either. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, it's not Stuart Bingham's day, is it? It really isn't so far. Again, I thought he might have been a bit better than this.
Playing this with
Really
a lot
did.
of power.
Just tried to get that back into bulk somewhat here.
1.
To go for the next ball, but we're going to struggle a bit. So I think it's another safety time. So not the most fluid of frames. Fluent, I should say, not fluid. That's fine.
Neil Robertson, 1.
I don't think he's had a pot so far, has he? No, I don't think he has. He's going to give us the chance to get another one. It's almost like wherever he doesn't want to get it, wherever you shouldn't hit the ball, wherever you shouldn't place the ball on the table, is exactly where he's hitting it every time. He's setting himself up to lose. And some of our shots, particularly recently, as recently as this, have been quite shoddy, to be honest. We've run out of position quite a few times, but because Bingham's not posed a threat, it's not been a problem.
Great cueing.
Well, that wasn't a bad shot, was it? Got the black off the cushion.
3.
It's just your luck sometimes, isn't it? And we seem to have that in abundance today. But you do make your own luck in this game, to some degree, so
This looks relatively easy.
you've got to play well. I think you don't there, put my teeth back in. I think you do go through droughts, and we've proved that more than anyone. And recently, I think we've been a bit unlucky. We played some good snooker, and it's not quite come off for us, but the last few matches, we've been by far the better player.
Decent position
Again,
to take on a colour
especially
here.
today, it's not been perfect
12.
so far, but more importantly, it's been enough. And if your opponent's not potting a single ball, well, you have to say you've got quite a fairly decent chance.
19.
It's not like Bingham hasn't had the chances. I've hit that slightly for the black. Again, you can see that
20.
it's not perfect. Certainly not perfect the way we're playing. Don't fancy that. Yeah, blue, to be honest. Well, I think it's the only shot we can play to
Tricky
get on the
pot
red.
Coming up.
Needs a bit more angle, I think. I just think we're setting ourselves up for suicide playing that, I really do. So, do we just play the black? Might well do. And then just play safe next time round. Black's there. I'll tell you what, we nearly just got enough pace to get nicely on the red, but not quite. I'm just looking, if we play up to this red, what stupidity can we do? Because we often do this and then think, ugh, we've left a pot on here. There's nothing on, is there, if we do that? No. If we just play up to this, there's nothing you can get to.
Neil Robertson, 27.
And again, his safety is left wanting. It was a tricky shot from there, to be honest, but
He's taking this on.
again, we've not exactly been embroiled in big safety battles, although again, as I've said, we seem to be starting to struggle here. Maybe our luck's running out, but we're certainly keeping ourselves in the game more than another certain fellow.
Well, it goes. Half a chance. In it goes. What a shot.
It wasn't a tough shot particularly, just had to
Inch perfect.
pick our spot, make sure we got the right angle.
What a top shot that is.
And I think with those few shots we played there, we should be safe to take the frame.
8.
Just 4 reds left on the table, so just 59 points, I think, unless I'm being stupid. So I think the frame's already done.
14.
Can't get a century this time either, so again,
This
might
is
as
being
just
played
well just
towards
get the
the
next
left
red,
middle
get the
pocket.
next colour, and get on with the next one. This could be another one of those
15.
5-0s. I said we'd only play the first 4 frames, but if we are
Drop this in gently.
4-0 up, I will play the 5th frame
21.
and see if we can win. Just play up to this. Frame's over. And again, we're ticking another one off the list.
21. Frame conceded. Frame, Neil Robertson.
That's the frame in the bag.
Thank you, the 4th frame. Neil Robertson to break.
So, can we make it 4 out of 4? Wouldn't be a bad record to have to get through to the quarter-final without dropping a frame in the televised rounds. I say that because I think in the qualifiers I feel like we won 3-1. I can't remember how we played. Was it Crafty Ken? I think it might have been Ken Doherty. Not in the qualifiers actually, but in the last 64. I think it was. I think it was Ken Doherty. Was it 3-0 or 4-3-1? I can't remember. I'll have to check that out, but I know we certainly beat Mark King 5-0 last time, mate. You don't forget a match like that very quickly.
He'll be pleased with that. It looks safe.
But this is all we can do. You know, if we want to be one of the best players on the tour, if we're given a chance, we have to take it. Doesn't really matter who we're up against.
He'll be playing safe here.
This might be the best safety battle we've had, actually. Might be a chance for Bingham to get his first pot of the day, but
He'll be pleased with that.
again, we'll have to see.
Safety coming up.
That's a good shot. Again, gets the ball safe. Admittedly, it's going to be tough to get a snooker or anything there. I don't think my block tee has been much of an issue, has it? Half chance here. That's it. It pays to get out of there.
Really
And it's
nice
there.
opening, Red.
It's not a bad shot, is it? It's not a bad shot at all.
1.
Bit of a pain with that red that's up bulk, but again, not a lot we can do about that, apart from pot it. So we're going to pot the blue, come off the cushion, and just hopefully try and get rid of that. As long as we can get to it, I don't think the green hinders our progress to get to this red. But I'm just thinking, I don't think this will be a frame that we particularly have much of a chance of winning in one visit, so we want to get any red away from the bulk, so that if we do play a safety, that's exactly what we're going to do in the next shot. If we do play a safety, then there's no risk of it coming back to bite us. Just lay up to the green, which is a shot interesting that Judd Trump thinks should be allowed.
7.
But yeah. Well, there you go. Well,
Impressive shot with the rest.
I said that
7.
we wouldn't play a safety. We did play a safety rather, but we wouldn't play a safety that come back to bite us. But funnily enough, that did come back to bite us, because Stuart Bingham finally got his first pot of the day. But unfortunately, he only made it 2, and that was it. I'm going to be aggressive here. Play it with an element of safety as well if it doesn't go in.
Half a chance here. That's an absolutely
That's not a bad shot either, is it?
pot.
I think Bingham's red had more of a fluke about it, to be honest.
Superb positional shot.
1.
Again, I don't think there was much real
Well, no surprises here with the long pot attempt.
view at potting that for Bingham, but he did. He got 2 pots, and it's back to the drawing board for him.
Tremendous pot.
6. 7.
Scuppered that one, haven't I? The green's in the way. So I think again we're going to play this safety. I'll tell you what, if he pots something this time, I'll flip. It's not quite snooker though this time, but
Not what he intended at all.
again he's only got 1
He'll
shot
be annoyed
available.
with
I mean,
that.
I wouldn't quite say it's not what he
Robertson,
attempted at all, but ho hum. And again,
Yes.
I think when you're playing well, snooker can very much just be a game of routine. You get a chance, you pop the balls,
Not quite the split he wanted.
and come back for the next frame.
1.
And it's one of those games that can look incredibly easy when you're on form.
He's taking it on. Brilliant pot. Outstanding. They don't come
I
much
guess a
better.
bit like Formula One this year with Lewis Hamilton.
Ideal position.
He's been beating Valtteri Bottas so easily in the Grand Prix. Not necessarily in qualifying sessions, but in the Grand Prix, he's been beating him so easily that it doesn't really look too hard. When as a matter of fact, yeah, you or I had struggled to beat Val. I know that that's a bit of a silly thing because none of us had beat
Neil Robertson, 4.
the lowest ranked player at a snooker match probably. And again, another chance Bingham's not took. But my point is that when someone is doing so well and they are so flawless, they do make it look easy. This, however, isn't easy.
Tricky pot.
And I feel if there's a frame we're ever going to lose in this match, it's going to be this one.
Close.
Because we've just missed the red. And really, on reflection, we shouldn't have took that on. Because Bingham is going to take a chance at some point. I'll tell you what, at 3-1, it's not game over.
1.
But, well, I do feel a bit sorry for him because he's just getting incredibly unlucky.
1.
Whatever he does here, it just doesn't seem to be going right for him. This is an awkward one there from here. Got to get more towards brown spot here. Tell you what, that's not a bad shot. That is not a bad shot. We'll take that. He might still sniff a pot, but it's not bad. And there you go, just a safety from Bingham.
With the shot.
Ooh, this is tight. I think this red just goes. I think it just passes. But it's bloody tight.
This is really tricky.
Just past the red. It has. Oh, it's there. What a shot. But don't get caught up behind the other one.
1.
Again, this is such a bizarre frame. It really is. I'll use that word again, flawless. We have been so flawless in the other frames that this looks so strange to watch. A scrappy frame where we can't really make it work. But crucially, in this scrappy frame where we can't really make it work, we're not giving away chances. That's not a bad shot from Bingham either. Ball's getting populated in one area of the table, so it's just a case of trying to get the cue ball to the other end by that brown spot. I think we've missed the reds there, and I'll tell you what, you can imagine we'll play a beautiful safety here, but we didn't really, to be honest. So
He'll be really annoyed with that foul. Lack of
I think if
composure,
we had
perhaps.
cut the red slightly there, we'd have been a lot closer to the brown, and we probably wouldn't have left this pot on.
4.
Tricky pot, no doubt.
But Bingham has got what can only be described as a terrible long potting percentage today. I don't think he's had a single one,
It's half a chance, but
apart from
chance
that fluke
nonetheless.
from a cannon. Because he's had his fair share of chances today. And he's not taken a single one. Again, the cracks started to
He's an
show
expert
for
long
us in
potter, and he's
the
taking
last
this
frame
on.
we got across the line. They've definitely shown in this frame. There's been a few opportunities that I thought, well, Stuart might take the frame now.
6.
But
Well,
if he's not
he's
going to
looking
take the
at
frame
potting this
with that
into the
sort of
bottom of the pocket.
opportunity, you wonder whether he ever will.
And in it goes.
He's right on top of his game at the moment.
7.
Have we got onto a red? I think we have.
12.
Well, my rhythm's been broken a bit. You might have heard in the background my phone went off, my mobile, so that's another excuse for August to pot here, on the pun.
Well, it goes. Half a chance.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot. I didn't think that would go.
Yes, he'll be very pleased with that shot. What
This
can he
next
do?
shot is the key.
21.
Can we get a good split? Or do we need a split? Again, we can maybe get away with getting position on this one to the middle pocket. It's tight. But no, I think we'll play the split. It's the best thing to do here.
Good split.
That's not a bad split. We need to know where the balls end up to say whether it's definitely a good split.
28.
We'll take that. So we lead by 35 here. So this red, which we've potted, the black or whatever colour, I guess. We'll go for the black.
29.
And the next red, and we're 4-0 up. And as I said earlier on, we'll play the 5th frame. See if we can do it in the first 5.
36.
Not going to muck about, particularly trying to get a clearance here. Because as in previous frames, we've not quite managed to get that century today.
And that effectively shuts out his opponent in this frame.
37. 44.
Just make sure we pot the next red, just to make sure it doesn't come back to the table. Because we have done that before, you know, in frames. We've not gone to pot balls, played a safety and to come back to bite us. But to be fair, we didn't pot that, but it doesn't really matter. He's conceded the frame, and we're 4-0 up. I didn't think it'd be this easy, albeit, of course, it's not over until we get the 5 frames. We know that from experience. He could win the next 5. But based on that early shot, I have to say, I doubt it.
He's tempted by this red. That's a good opening red.
One. Three.
He's aiming for the left corner here. Well, an excellent pot.
That's ended up more awkward.
Well, if we can win this frame, I'd love to make a century to finish it off, and I don't think this is a bad chance. Got a bit of work to do.
11.
Position looks good for a colour.
Just use that red as a bit of a stopper. Our search for a 147 goes on anyway, because we had to play the yellow.
He's played that very well.
19.
We did get quite a kind draw in this tournament last year, you know, actually. Thinking of it, I think as I showed you in the build-up, we had the last 16 against Bingham. I'm sure we played Ryan Day in the last 32, and I think it was somebody like Stephen Maguire in the quarter-final, which again isn't an easy match, but it's not the hardest match in the world, particularly on Snooker 19.
27.
But every ball we pot in this break is one closer to being in the quarters.
28.
And apart from a sticky frame last time out, we've not really had to sweat too much to get there.
35.
Which in an ideal world we'd love to do in every tournament, but somehow I don't quite think that's going to happen every time.
36.
So this is the crucial shot.
I think he's playing this with a lot of power. The split looks good.
It's not a bad split. Again, it all depends where the cue ball ends up. Split can be great, but if you're not on anything, you might struggle.
Well, he's taking it on to the left corner. Beautifully done.
Simply
And this should be a great chance now.
44.
Just go for the pink, because I think at this point you do get a bit wary. You think, well, you know, I could miss this, and it's a good chance for Bingham to maybe get into the game, get a bit of renewed hope. Because ultimately, I think if you are of that mentality, you're all of a sudden looking at the winning line, thinking, oh, you know, I'm nearly there. And then all of a sudden your opponent comes and wins the frame. It's tough to get back into the swing of it then. I think that's one of the things that crippled us in this match that I'll probably talk about through the ages.
51.
Until the next snooker game comes out and we do something worse. Against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the Worlds. I think that's what crippled us there. We got near to the winning line and
Beautiful striking.
we started to just look at that too much and think, right, I need to win this frame, need to win this frame. But I think there we were almost a bit too blasé about it. We were almost, well, you know, we've got how many frames to go and win this. And then when it actually come about that we needed to win a frame, i.e. the decider,
That's an excellent.
all our bottle had just completely frazzled.
Outstanding
And
effort.
57.
we'd completely lost it, unfortunately. I don't think I've done much worse on this game. But as I've said, there's time. There's time to do all that. But today, it's not going to be a bad victory. You would think it would be a victory now.
64.
Again, but again, here, we're not making this easy for ourselves.
For the right centre pocket here. Nicely done.
Oh, wonderful shot.
65.
Just the blue needed now.
You hear nil faults. And it's there. And barring snookers,
That should effectively remove
it's
any
another
idea the opponent
5-frame
may have for
whitewash.
the comeback.
70.
He's aiming to sink
Stuart
this into
Bingham,
the right corner.
well and truly beaten. The one last thing that we'd like to do today, which hopefully we can now, is to make a century. But the main objective has been completed nice and quickly.
Aiming for the centre pocket here.
Once again, within an hour, we've beaten our opponent.
79.
I think the most pressure today
Don't know
is
what a prolific long
are these
potter
few
he
shots
is,
now,
so I'd assume
wanting
he
to
takes
make this
it on.
century.
Another great long pass.
84.
Just feeling it's not quite going to happen for us, you know.
This into the left corner pocket.
Well, I thought so. We had to hit that with some pace to get on the blue because I didn't really fancy the black to get on the next ball. But alas, it doesn't really matter. It would have been nice for pride, but
And he progresses
Bingham will shake our hands and we are through. Or maybe give us a what's it called? What's this bloody part of your body called? I can't remember now. What do you use for a handshake now? An air shake or what? I'm looking at it. It's not my wrist, is it? No, is it your wrist? No, that's your wrist. Elbow. I'll tell you what, isn't it amazing when you have a brain fade, you can't think of the simplest things? An elbow bump. 12 points for Bingham today, 392 for us. It's not really comparable, is it? 5-0. And we are now through to the quarterfinals, which of course will start in Friday's episode. And a Christmas Day special for you guys. Mark Allen. Could be a tricky one. Mark Allen is ranked 4th in the rankings. I feel like he's dropped down a little bit. Could be wrong, but he's one of the better players. And as you can see, where we are, another £20,000 from this event. You'd think we'd get above Jack Lazowski. And if we can have a big payout, say, you know, if we win the event and get 100-odd thousand, there may be a slim chance that we'd be back in the top 8 for the first time in a long, long time. But we'll be back on Friday for the start of that match against Mark Allen. I very much doubt it'll be a 5-0, but you never know. Could be 5-0 to Mark Allen. But if you've enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and also subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday at 6 PM. Thank you for watching. I've been TIJ Gaming, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye for now.